go. We're live. Hello, hello.
Hello. Let's see.
I always kind of wait and see if anybody in the chat says they can see and hear us.
Yeah, I see myself.
Yeah, I just flip over to the big screen. Hi, Julie. How was your Thanksgiving? Hi, Mads. Welcome.
How's everybody doing? Loud and clear.
Chris.
Okay, cool.
Are you excited to go to Sarah Boone, Chris? He's going to go to the sentencing for Sarah Boone in Orlando, which is on Monday.
And Ashley Benefield's on Tuesday.
Yes, I'm going to go to that.
Oh, cool.
Hi, Melissa Webb. Welcome. Welcome. So, yeah, we don't have any trials that we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to actually just try to clarify what it is I do for a living and why I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Chris, are you going to be able to go inside or you be outside again like you were on Sarah? And then have you been to the Manatee Courthouse where Ashley is? Hi, Leah. Hi.
Hi, Leah.
It's so nice to see you. How was your Thanksgiving? Did you have a good Thanksgiving? Chat moves slow. I'm just going to wait and see if a few more people come in.
Ooh.
There's Aaron. Hi, Aaron. Chris says he'll be outside for Sarah and inside for Ashley. I haven't been to the Manatee Courthouse either. I looked it up the other day, though. You're not
just going to be a
Leah.
big crowd trying to come in.
It's no. I mean, I usually have 12 people, so there's 10 here now. I just wanted to make sure that give everybody a few minutes in case they want to come and join us.
And I can see the chat and I can comment. I found out I can comment too. So
yeah. Okay.
I didn't think I could. So I don't have to be on my phone to do it. I can see it here now.
Okay. Perfect. So, I never remember how to do anything.
This is my first time live, guys, so bear with me.
Yeah, so I'm going to introduce you in just a second. Let me see. Did everybody have a good Thanksgiving? Mads found trial from Sarah Boone, great coverage. Trial TV Live, they have done great coverage with Sarah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Trial TV is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think Sarah's going to be in for a reckoning. I will be watching. I'm sorry I can't drive to Orlando. Hi, Mom. There's my mom.
Hi, Mama Sue.
Okay. Jenny led you to Trial TV. Her fault.
Yeah, it's all my fault.
It's addicting. Oh, gosh. Yeah, it was my mom's birthday yesterday, everybody.
Happy birthday, Mama Sue.
I just realized today that Donna Adelson's name is Donna Sue, which is my mom's name is Donna Sue.
But she's a good Donna Sue, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's one trial I didn't watch.
I
need to go back and watch that one. I didn't watch it. I don't know anything about it. I mean, I heard bits and pieces, I think, if it's what I'm thinking, but I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't pay attention to it. Is that the hire for M?
Yes.
To M somebody?
Hi, Pammy. Welcome. Hi.
Hi, Pammy. Yeah, we can't say the M word. So we say Red Realm or M.
Or the unaliving. Or the incident.
SA. The incident. Yeah, the incident report.
The incident is something we use actually in my job also. So it's really weird to not discuss like what actually happened and to call it the incident. You know, when you're sitting there talking to the person who was involved in it, Mom, I can see you. We can see you. You're fine. You're fine. You don't have to be in the chat.
We can see you.
Okay, so hello to everyone who's here. Thank you so much for coming. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. And you got to eat what you wanted to eat. With me tonight is my new friend, my new YouTube friend, Gini Risinger. I met her from another channel where I had been a guest.
During Sarah Boone.
Yeah. Oh, right. So yeah.
Yep.
Sarah Boone. I guess we have Sarah Boone to thank for all of this. I also met Leah and Trial TV and the Squeegee also through Sarah Boone. So and I worked on Sarah's case in real life. Mom does not watch Trial. Oh, there's Henry. No wonder. Hold on.
Kitty cat coming in. Wait till you see this cat, guys. It's beautiful. Mads, wait till you see if he comes up. Well, he's not. If the kitty comes close to you, you got to show everybody.
Mystery Saw.
Mads loves cats. Mystery Saw. Where was he?
Outside on the balcony. He participated in some catch and release hunting today. He caught something out there and released it under my desk. And I don't know what it is.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know if it's still living.
Oh, no. If it's not, I'm sure you'll find out really soon.
My mom has watched some trials like fanatically. Like I remember when I was getting ready to go to law school, Casey Anthony was on and we were in IKEA and she sat down on the couch and watched the verdict, I think, come in, for Casey Anthony while I wandered around IKEA all day. So
yeah, I remember that. That was a horrible trial.
I didn't watch trials before.
Yeah, that was very disappointing.
Oh,
thank you, Leah. That's my backyard.
That's her backyard. Yeah.
This right here is a shed that we put up, but yeah, that's my backyard. And then the woods behind it, we just bought all of that like 2 years ago. So it's very peaceful.
Julie, I'm hopeful that it's nothing. Because we're in Florida, so things usually just dry up or wither away. So I'm going to have Gini tell you guys a little bit about herself. And then what we're going to do is we're going to describe what it is I do and how I do it. Because we figured out that some people just don't know. And that's fair. That's fair because I have a really weird job. So Gini, why don't you tell everybody about yourself and about your socials? She's got a great social media, but I can't post it till tomorrow. So you'll have to be on the lookout for that.
So let's see. I'm a Gen X. I'm 56. I tell everybody that I'm in West Virginia. I don't have a problem telling people that. Wasn't born here. I was born in Baltimore, actually, of all places. But anyhow, I'm a mom, and I have 2 grown children, and I have 2 granddaughters in Florida who are actually in a cheerleading competition. Yeah, they're they're on your side, on Tampa side, but they're toward Louisiana. They're in the Gulf.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, one is 7 and one is 10. And then I have a grandson that lives close by. That'll be 2 in January. I'm on Instagram as Gini_Survivor. The same thing on TikTok and Lemon8. And then and I'm trying to get rid of Twitter. It's just I'm getting rid of Twitter. And then I'm on Blue Sky as Gini Survivor without the underscore because they don't allow underscores over there. And then just my name on Facebook. And
why are you a survivor?
Breast cancer. I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer December 9th, 2016. I went through treatment. First I had treatment, and then I had a mastectomy and I stayed flat. I didn't need them anymore. And then I had radiation, and then I had more treatments with more chemo. And then after that, I had a year-long drug that I took 6 pills a day every day. And it was like the guinea pig for the center. Nobody else did it. And I was the guinea pig. And they kept trying to take me off of it because I had really bad side effects. I'm like, no, this will increase my chances of living by 2%. I'm going to do it.
Oh,
So
wow.
I finished in 2019. And
Wow.
we moved down here in 2018. But yeah, so
So 3 years.
yeah, I did. I started everything social media wise, as far as like really getting into it for breast cancer awareness, mental health awareness, just support like that. And then I started doing like a lot of makeup and beauty, and then a lot of skincare. Like you couldn't even, I wouldn't even open my door without makeup on. And then with Instagram and my channel, because I have a YouTube channel as well, and that's just my name. I started like doing more skincare. And then I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can do it, and show myself without makeup and just do my skincare, because I don't even have eyebrow hairs. This is like I showed Sam earlier, like a little
Yeah,
tattoo thing.
that's so
Yeah.
neat.
So yeah, I never got him back
Yeah.
in. But this is my first time doing live because I have social anxiety disorder and a little bit of mild agoraphobia. So thanks to Sam, I'm actually doing this. So that's, yeah, I have a lot of pets. I have
That's
snakes and dogs and a cat, and
She's got
here
a
I am.
really beautiful calico cat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a little monster, but yeah, she's big and fluffy. Yeah,
Yeah, I think most of us are cat people, although you have dogs too.
yeah, 4 dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom has 2 gigantic tuxedo cats.
Oh, I
I
love
have
tuxedo cats.
I have Henry.
Our next door
Um,
neighbors breed Maine Coon cats.
my mom had a Maine Coon cat
Oh wow.
for a very long time. His name was Baxter. And
Oh
my
wow.
ex-husband, who was from Nicaragua, called him Baxter.
That's funny.
Which is so funny. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Leah says that her daughter was diagnosed with breast cancer when she was 25
Wow.
and is now 27 and a survivor. Yeah,
Awesome.
the Squeegee of Justice and Trial TV have 3 cats. One named Superball, who has his own channel, I believe, and then 2 others. They're very friendly. You can see them on with Chris.
Yeah.
They come in his lap. Yeah. Yeah. This is not a good time. Okay? I'm busy. All right. So so do you want to start with talking about what it is I do?
Yes, definitely.
All
Okay.
right.
So tell us about your background. What led you to this line of work, like your education that got you to where you are? Because a lot of people don't know that. So
Right.
spill the
Well,
beans.
I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and when I graduated college in the 90s, I didn't know what to do with myself, so I just re-registered and took another year and a half worth of classes and became certified to teach high school in Texas
Oh, wow.
in both psychology and English. Um, Hi, Krista, limited edition. Welcome. It's nice to see you. Before going to law school, I owned my own business. It was a client-based creative business in Florida here. Well, I started in Ohio and moved it down here to Florida. And then the economy tanked, and
Sure did.
I had a lot of friends that were going through divorces. And I said to my mom one day, I was like, if I had it to do over again, I'd go to law school. And she said, well, why don't you go? And I'm like, well, how am I going to pay for it? So now I know how with student loans, which are insane.
Yeah.
But I decided in 2010 that I wanted to see if I could get in. And I took the LSAT and I hit for Stetson and Miami. So,
Wow.
and that was it. I wasn't, even when I went to college in the 90s, I wasn't doing a whole lot of applying everywhere. Like I got in early admission to where I wanted to go originally. When I transferred schools, I only applied to 3. So I've always been very narrow focused on where I want to go. Melody Ferris is being sentenced this week too. Is she the one? Is she the husband in the fire pit? I can't keep track
Yes.
of them. Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I guess she was convicted.
Yeah. Yes, indeedy.
Wow. Okay. So, yeah, so what happened was I had a midlife crisis. I went to law school. I graduated from law school and I went to work for a um one man, a sole practitioner who was mostly criminal defense. And I thought I was going to be a family law attorney. And I never wanted anything to do with criminal law. And then I didn't have a choice. So um, worked on my first murder case starting in 2016. And through that, I learned that the job I have now exists.
Cool. Awesome.
So
So tell us that. What is your actual job?
okay, so I am a licensed private investigator. So I have a license through the state of Florida. I have my own agency. Um, Super Bowl just displayed that comment. Thanks, Super Bowl. Um, so I have a PI license, and what I do is I am a criminal defense private investigator. So anybody that was watching the Sarah Boone shenanigans all the way through, Billy Lane was my journey into my gateway into being an investigator. I brought him on to work on a death penalty case at the law office as our investigators. And I said, I'm really interested in what it is you do. And he's like, yeah, you know, let's talk about it. So I was, it's because of him that that I'm licensed. But
Is
the
he as
way,
nice as what he seems on
yeah,
TV?
yeah, he's a very nice guy. Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure that he will be happy to be free of Sarah because um he
Good
has been
question,
with
Leah.
her for a long time. So Leah, when you go to law school, that's graduate level. So you have to have a bachelor's to go, and then you get a JD. So I have a Juris Doctor, um, which is just basically Doctor of Law. And as far as I know, that's the only one you can get. They have LLMs now, which are like master's levels in certain areas of law. But I have so any of the lawyers you see on YouTube, I have the same education they do. I am just not licensed to practice law.
Do you have to have
Um,
continuing education or anything?
for as a PI, no, I have to renew my PI license every 2 years. If I was a licensed attorney, if I was barred, then yes, I would have to do continuing education. And I think that's great actually, because
Yeah.
what is happening is we're seeing it happen live is the trials, the tech,
Yeah.
moving faster
Yeah.
than the courts are keeping
Right.
up, or the judges or the lawyers or
Yeah.
anybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Some can't use the Elmo machine. They're like, "What do you
Yeah.
do?"
And
And
that's
they're
the most
putting it
basic.
upside. What
Yeah.
do you do?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So, um, I don't I don't work for a company. Like I have my own company. Um, and I'm paid by the state of Florida. So again, for anybody who is paying attention to Sarah Boone, um, you heard the term JAC a lot, and then you saw Christian Lake on the big screen, and they were throwing money at Billy. So they're normally not throwing money at us. We have to ask for it.
And what exactly is the JAC?
It's
What
the
is that?
Justice Administration Commission. So they are in charge of paying for public defense all the way from like actual public defenders who are elected in office, and all the assistants, all the way through down to people like me, and I'm considered a vendor. So
Okay.
um and the way you get to somebody like me is you have to first be arrested. That's your
That
first.
was another question. Yeah. How do you hired? Yeah. 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 Hopefully you can avoid that in life, but there's so many dumb criminals.
Oh my
Just
God.
can't seem
You
to get
have
past it.
you have
Yeah.
no idea. I spend my week
Yeah.
going, "What is wrong with people?"
Yeah.
Um, so, yeah, first you have to get arrested, and then, what has to happen is the public defender has to have a conflict of interest. They can't represent you. Maybe because they represented like, I'm just gonna keep coming back to Sarah Boone because let's just face it, that's how we all got here.
Everybody knew everybody. Right.
It's the best example we've got going right now. So, in Sarah's case, for example, the public defender couldn't defend her because I believe they had defended George before. They'd
Okay. I
represented
always wondered
him.
that.
I think that's I'm sure somebody out there knows for sure, but I believe it was because of George. So, they have to go to the judge and say, "Judge, we have a conflict, we need to be removed from the case." And then the judge has to there's steps that have to be followed. So the judge has to file an order saying, "Okay, public defender, you're free." And now I'm appointing office of regional counsel, which is like a hybrid office. And one of my very best friends actually works for regional counsel on the other coast. Uh, they can be they can work in-house and then they can also I believe have their own practices. So they have to have a conflict too. So maybe they represented one of George's siblings or something like that, right? For whatever
Mm.
reason, they couldn't continue representing Sarah. And so that's when you finally get to the private defense attorneys. Okay, so
Okay.
we went through the public defender, that's gone, like the in-house public defender. Then we went to the Office of Regional Conflict Counsel, that's gone. Now, where you are is every circuit has a list of attorneys who have contracts with the Justice Administration Commission. So they are private defense attorneys, like that you would
Okay.
normally go out and hire for lots and lots and lots of money. So
Right.
when people
Okay.
say you've got a public, a court appointed lawyer and that sucks, no, that doesn't actually suck. You're getting a lot of representation plus all of the investigators, the specialists, if you need brain scans, the psychiatrist, all the stuff gets paid for by the state. So that's what happens is the judge reaches out and to one of the private defense attorneys.
Okay.
Uh,
So
okay,
you
so
don't work for public defender, you work for the private ones.
right. So I don't
Okay.
come in until you have to be on your third lawyer before you're going to meet me.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha. Okay.
like Sarah had to be you have to give her it was not her fault that she lost lawyers 1 and 2, right? So, when I went to work on Sarah's case, Mauricio Padilla was the attorney. And I
Okay.
think he was her 4th, but I'm not 100% sure. Um, so what happens is the attorney will reach out to me and say, "I have a case, do you want it?" And I always say yes. Well,
That's the question I
yeah,
had. Have you
you
ever
have it.
refused one?
Yes, I have an essay case I didn't want recently. Um, I just yeah, that was one I really didn't want. And I knew something was up because when the lawyer called me, he sent me a press link instead of like, "Hey, I have a unaliving death penalty case for you," He's like,
Right.
"You can look at this and tell me if you want to do it." And I looked and I was like, "No, I don't want to. Thank you so much though." So, one of those attorneys will put a motion into the JAC and to the court and say, "Hey, we want a private investigator and we want to hire Florida Sam." And the JAC says, "Well, we have no objection to that." Sometimes they object, but rarely. And they get me an order and it's for a number of hours or a certain amount of money. And I'm paid hourly and I have to invoice and I have to bill on the tenths of an hour just like an attorney
Wow.
does. It sucks. I hate it. I am terrible with math. I'm terrible with time. I Everybody who knows me knows that I have the memory of a goldfish. Before coming on here tonight, I had to text Trial TV Live and say, I can't remember which button to push to make this go. It's really bad. So the billing.
That's why you have me.
Yeah, right. Well, you've been doing so much work for the channel in the background because I can't. I mean, I just, yeah, I can't keep up with
Well,
with
tell everybody
everybody.
how many cases that you have right now.
Right now, that I was able to account for, I have 18, 3 of
Wow.
which are death penalty, most of which are the red rum variety. And I've got 2 incoming federal cases, one of which I've been told is a RICO case with like 22 terabytes of discovery.
And explain to people that don't know, what is RICO case?
Oh God, I can never
It's
remember.
racketeering something. Yeah.
Racketeering, influence. Oh, it's so it was originally developed. That's how they prosecuted the mob, right? The mafia
Right.
back in the day. Well, now on the state side, they are using RICO. The most recent example I can give you is the
YSL.
YSL. So
That's still going
they're
on.
doing
Yeah.
street gangs. That's how they are. Thank you, Julie. Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations
There we
Act.
go.
Yeah, I can never.
I remember that it was racketeering.
Yeah, I always get that part, and I know the last part's act, but yeah. So on the state side, the YSL case, that's an example of what they're doing, which is they're taking gangs, which often say no, we're a music label, because I've actually had that happen, and they are saying that those are conspiracy criminal organizations, and they're trying people on those cases. So what ends up happening is you get like 20 co-defendants, and it's a nightmare. I mean, you could see we saw it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
That case is that should be a lesson in law school of what not to do.
Yeah.
That prosecution was shameful. That
Oh, yeah.
judge, the first judge,
The first one. Very one-sided.
oh my God. I mean, the antics that went on in that courtroom and jailing lawyers and
I know. That blew my mind. I was like, what?
you
Yeah.
can't you can't make some of this stuff up. So,
No.
yeah, I've got the federal cases. They give them to me because they're usually a very big amount of data, and I'm capable of processing a lot of data, even though it doesn't seem like it. I actually can and take in a lot and then spit back out, you know, a condensed version, more or
Right.
less.
Well, good. When do you actually meet the defendant?
So usually by the time I get a case, it's usually a couple years old, which kind of sucks. And they're usually in the county jail. So once I get an order from the JAC that says, or from the judge that says, okay, we're granting you money so you can do this job, and I get discovery, then I go find the defendant, which is usually at the county jail. And I spend a lot of time there. I've learned that we have a great jail, like in terms of being a professional person that is entering into the facility. So some of them I've only met like once. I have some right now. I have some right now that that I've only that I only know about in name, and I have not yet met them. My mother says that I have my able assistant Henry, who does his best to keep me on task. What he does is try to kill me on the regular. So yeah,
That's funny.
2 years. Yeah, it can be at least that Pammy, that I mean, one of the things that is very frustrating, yeah, you guys, Aaron, should we hold questions? Because I'm so ADHD, I will just interrupt myself repeatedly. I should probably do that, right? Just hold questions and let Jenny ask me some questions, and then we'll do some chat questions. Yeah, I think we should do that. So
Okay.
Jenny, you ask me questions. I will stop
Okay.
answering.
I'm sure
We'll
that some of
never
the
get
questions I
through
asked
this.
you, some of the questions I asked you might be the same, some of the same, you know. Okay, so you meet the defendant, and then what do you do after that?
So I meet with them and I ask them to give me their side of the story. I never ask them if they did what they've been accused of. But a lot of them are very young. So right now I've got a lot of like 16, 17, 18, 19-year olds. And I'm not joking when I tell you that I have children who are
Unaliving
out
other
there
children.
unaliving other children, and I'm getting really freaking tired of it. And if
Yeah.
you I got up out of bed again on I think earlier this week, last week, after I'd been at the jail, and I recorded a video that I put up, which is, me rambling, but it's about how I've got one kid who's looking at life, and I've got one man who has been locked up for life and was a teenager when he went in. And just the way things are going, it's just really frustrating for me. But usually I have to meet with the attorney and go through discovery, which can take many forms. So, like for the case I have that is an old case that we may work on this channel, which I will talk about at a different time. I have banker's boxes stacked up because it's from
That's a while
1999.
ago.
Yeah. The rest of it, I mean, I have like drives and cables and people's thumb drives and an external hard drive plugged into, computers. It's like a lot of stuff that is digital, and we're using a lot of cloud storage, like between me and one of the attorneys that I'm with, like constantly. He and I are putting all of our stuff into an encrypted cloud and
That makes
logging in so
sense.
we can work, so that we can see the work. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's the bonus of working with a younger attorney, is being able to do that through the internet and not having to go and physically take something from
Right.
an attorney's office.
Kind of like you and I are doing with the drive. Like whatever I find, I put in
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
you have
exactly,
ideas. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, only you're way more organized than I am about it. I was looking at
I
my
love doing it.
I was looking at my drive earlier today on it's on a different platform when you had asked me how many cases. So I went in there to look, and I'm like, when did I why is this so messy, and when did I do this? And oh my God, I need to fix it. Which is how I sort of approach everything in my life. It's like, how did it get this way? And what do I do to fix it? And the answer is not simple, so I just kind of close my eyes and keep going. But yeah, so I reviewed discovery, meet with the defendant, and then it depends on the case what happens next.
Okay. Good to know. Okay, this is like a multiple question in one. How do you find the evidence, and do you ever talk to witnesses? And then on top of that, how does it differ now compared to the way it used to be as far as how you gather the evidence?
So the evidence is supposed to come from the state. That's what we hear about discovery, right?
And explain that at some point, like what happens,
Yeah,
how it's
so
not always right.
there's rules. Believe it or not, there are rules. There are rules to criminal procedure, there's rules to civil procedure, there's judicial, there's lots and lots of rules. The rule says that once the defense files a demand for discovery, the state has 15 days to turn it over. The state does not do that.
And that's why one of the delays happened.
I am beyond angry at so many things right now. I keep telling my friend that when I have some money, we're going to a rage room because I need to destroy.
I would love to do that. There's one
Yeah,
here locally. I didn't even know it was there.
I
I would
need to
love to do
destroy
that.
things. Yeah, when I used to own a home, like you could always landscaping was good for that. You get big whackers out and take it all out on that. But so the state is supposed to provide it within 15 days. They don't. And we chase it for a long time, and it's getting old very fast. If there are witnesses that could be helpful to the defense, then yes, I look for them. I try to find them if we don't know where they are. And then I try to contact them and see if they are going to, if they do testify, are they going to be favorable to the defendant or not? And most of the time, anybody I do find or get a hold of, they don't want to talk to me. They want nothing to do with whatever it is that I'm contacting them about, and they want to know why I have their name. So,
Yeah, we were talking
right
about that.
now,
Yeah.
I need to go and find some victims of who were not home at the time. A young man emptied some bullets into their house while they were not home. I need to go find those people because I don't think they're going to show up for trial. And if they don't, then the prosecutor can't prosecute the case. And it's a stupid case. So I need to do that. I bought 3 different planners because I kept forgetting that I bought a planner. And then I used all 3 of them.
Oh,
Things are
that's funny.
messy. So yeah,
Yeah.
I need to go find them. I need to put myself a sticky note that's
Yep.
a priority. I was like, why is his name in my calendar? Now I realize why. I have to go.
You need a secretary. You need to fly me down there and I'll be your secretary.
Oh my God, you'd cry if you came here. Like, you just would cry. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I do talk to witnesses. The other day I had to find an attorney called me and he said, I need you to find the exact car that was used that was part of this incident over here. And I found 2 in Tampa, and he went and saw one of them, and I guess it gave him the information he was looking for. Sometimes I saw there was a question from Chris earlier that asked if I ever worked with other PIs. And the answer to that is, since I have my own agency, no. But when I worked for Prison Break Investigations, that's Billy Lane's agency, I worked with Billy on cases. Somebody is knocking on my door. How can that be at almost 8 o'clock on a Saturday? Okay, I don't know what to do, actually. All right, I'm just going to keep going. So on Trevor's case, was it Trevor's case? Oh my God. No, it was somebody else's case that I got a hold of. I know, a biological mom got a hold of me and said she had her own private investigation. She's not a part of the case. And she wanted them to work with me. And I was like, that is not happening at all.
That'd make it more confusing.
I explained to her that her son had one of the best defense attorneys in Tampa, and that, yeah, Chris, I'm not going to answer it. I have a peephole, but I'm not going to answer it. Anybody that I know would have my phone and would be able to text me. So, yeah, I mean, when people want to jump in with you, that makes for messes. And
Yeah.
and the way that I get paid is not set up for that.
Right.
Is the easier answer. Yeah.
And how does it differ now as far as finding evidence compared to back years ago before all the
Right. Okay.
cell
So
phone blow up and
yeah, things are different. Obviously, the cell phones will will tell on you. So before cell phones, you had a shot at, well, I should say before really smartphones.
right?
So
Okay.
I think I was talking somewhere, and of course, I don't remember where. Maybe it was to you about a murder that had taken place in 2011. And yes, I'm always gonna say the words I'm not supposed to say. And they had phones, but they didn't have like location enabled
Yeah,
iPhones.
we were talking about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so it was with you. So we were able to ascertain basically a time frame for when they were, unalived based on their outgoing phone activity. So it wasn't actually their location or any of the fancy stuff like what got Alec Murdaugh caught, which was his actual steps and
Yeah.
the throwing and the all the things. So, the phones now are they are absolutely everything. I They're everything, and before it was like, yeah, you needed, DNA, and if you had some sort of digital activity, that was almost like an afterthought. That was not, and that's not all that long ago. I mean, that's how fast things
Right.
are moving,
And the
and I don't.
The Walmart cameras. You
Yeah,
call them
so
Walmart.
yeah, I call it the M aisle at Walmart because why does everybody go there? And the cameras are so good. They're gonna catch you out.
Yeah.
If you are abducted, go to Walmart at the checkout and just make a signal of some sort. Hey, Amy crew.
Hey,
Um,
Amy.
because their camera is so clear. It's just
Yeah.
crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why people do that. Obviously, the people who are out committing the crimes are not watching what we're watching
Yeah.
because they're not learning anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently not.
No, or
Yeah.
we wouldn't have anything to watch.
We would. Yeah. I'll be totally bored.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, and we're going to do like videos on that, right? Like about Celebrate and
Yeah.
how
So,
all that stuff.
yeah.
I think you had that
Um
planned in the future to do.
Yes, we're going to do I promised people structured content, which is coming. I'm giving myself to the beginning of the year to sort of get my act together, and this is the first step. And Jenny has been pulling together information on all the cases, everybody. Yeah, Pammy, Grizzly 2 Crime, she always does it, right? She palm up, closed thumb, and end in a fist.
Yeah.
She always gives the signal on her channel.
Yeah.
Um, Sorry, I need to just not look at chat, but then I feel rude and but yes, so structured content is coming, which means that we are going to break down some of the pieces that you see in trials. So the cell phone people, we are going to be talking about cell bright extractions and what that looks like and what I have to do when I'm given one of those, which by the way, in PDF form are tens of thousands of pages. And it's just for a chunk of phone. And then there's the information that the carrier has, which is completely different than the cell bright extraction. So
Right.
we've got information that we can explain and show on that for sure.
Right.
So yeah, the digital stuff is just huge because people do not understand what they are transmitting, and then the fact that they turn it off, sometimes that's even
Yeah.
worse, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, has there ever been a case um, that you've had to testify on
Not yet, no.
in the trials? Not yet.
Not yet.
Have you? Do you go to hearings and trials?
I go to all the trials. I sit usually at the defense table. I work directly with the attorneys. The defendants usually know me very well. I work in assisting in selecting the jury. And as the state, it's not fair. Like, for anybody that thinks that this is a fair judicial system, it's not. It is so not. So the state doesn't really have to tell us who they're calling even the next day. So, like, we may have a witness list of like 30, which may have come down from 50. They may only end up calling 10, but we might not know who that is unless they're kind enough to tell us the night before. And then I pull relevant sections of hopefully what I have written up on that person for the attorney to have. So in a recent case where there were some young defendants who gave multiple statements to law enforcement, and I have transcripts of those, then what I do is I start pulling out inconsistencies, looking for things like that, so that a witness can be impeached.
Right. I hear that a lot in trials.
Yeah, yeah. Means to discredit.
Right.
Yeah. So, I kind of just serve as like, an extra person with information who has usually developed a decent-ish relationship with the defendant, with the exception of men like Trevor Summers. This is one of the ones that I could not stand. Yeah, he was horrible.
And I never heard about that case until you told me, and then Trial TV showed it.
Mm-hmm.
So if they wouldn't have showed it,
I told them about that I had been on it, and because
I'm glad they showed it.
Yeah, I was talking to Chris, and he said, what cases have you worked on? My mom says you were on TV concerning one of your cases. Yeah, that's Anthony's whole thing in Seminole County. That's a whole different ball of wax. We'll do a video around wrongful convictions, I think.
Okay. That would be good. Yeah.
Hi, Mel. Hi, Carrie. Nice to see everybody.
Hi, guys.
So what we're trying to do, and I apologize that I am extra spacey today because I have a headache. So Jenny has been...
you have a migraine.
I do have a migraine.
Yeah.
Jenny has been going and pulling information on all the cases that we're either hearing about or we're starting to hear about, which seems to be a lot of unaliving spouses, disappearing spouses. Yeah. So she's been pulling in information for me and setting it up in a Google Drive so I can skim through and have a clue to be able to talk about whatever anybody is interested in talking about. But then what we're also looking to do is take different pieces, like, for example, the cell phones or the digital data, and do concentrated shows or episodes around that. So I've got like the idea for wrongful conviction, because I've got
rules of evidence,
two cases like that. We talk about the different rules of evidence.
Sentencing.
Yes, sentencing. So because I can produce a lot of these documents, but it's just me not being very well organized. So
you'll get there. I'll help you.
Yeah, thank you so much. No, I wouldn't.
Oh, I love it. You're welcome.
No, I wouldn't be able to. Like, I go in there and I can skim the timelines and look at all the things, and I don't have to go digging for them, which is super nice because I'm constantly chasing information.
Well, like another thing I really like about where your channel direction is heading is that you're not just talking about cases, you're talking about people, like the victims that we never hear about.
Yes, we want to talk about the victims,
and the families, and
the families,
the good and the bad people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and actually, I've
Henry's
got
behind you.
What are you doing? He's up there by one of the lamps that has a trash bag over it, which is because he used to climb up inside every lampshade I had. Amy Crew, yeah, that's what we're working to teach you guys, or to inform, educate about the process using actual documents if I've got them. Like, I have a kid coming up for sentencing soon that needs to be evaluated, and that's been a whole thing. So, and we're, obviously we're seeing sentencing happen. In Florida, we have a really open public records law. It's like called Sunshine Law or something. You think I would know
Except
this?
for Courtney Clenny. Can't get into Courtney Clenny.
Why can't? Yes, I
It's been
need
a
to talk
pain.
to my friend. Oh, so I asked my lawyer friend to get into that docket, and he said he has to mail them a certified copy of his bar or something. I will get us there, but that's crazy that Miami shut
Yeah.
their docket down like that. I can't believe it. Yeah, that's really annoying. The great thing about Hillsborough County is it's easy. Like our circuit is easy in terms of accessing anything really, except for information from the state.
Right. Or anything that the judge decides not to let out.
Right.
That they block. Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what made you start your channel? Like, I know why, but some people might. Leah knows why. I try to tell you, Chris and Aaron, but some people don't. So what was the reason you decided to start your channel?
So it was something I've been thinking about for a long time. And as far back as like 2019, actually, and obviously didn't get my stuff together to do it, but I was listening to a channel that I'd never heard before on my phone one day, and they were talking about costs from the JAC and paying for the defense. And the information was just so incorrect and unbalanced. And I'm so tired of people saying, oh my God, how dare they spend money on this defendant? Well, okay, if it's you, are you not going to want the state to spend some money on your defense or your child's defense? So anyway, they were getting stuff about the JAC wrong. And so I contacted the owner of that channel and said, hey, look, I am a person that does what you're talking about on your channel. Would you like to talk about it? And so I was a guest there. And from there, I think it was you and a couple of other people who have
Leah was one.
Really encouraged me to just do my own. And so, I did. I just showed up and started talking. And I decided that like I'm not going to produce super highly edited like videos. I'm not going to come back and edit my live streams. The videos that I come out here and record because I can't go to sleep because whatever it is, I don't have hair, makeup or anything, I don't care. Like, we're Gen X. And the thing is, like,
I got to get out of that.
I think we need to just stop feeling like we have to be the standard of perfection that that younger generations have somehow created now. And I just am putting myself out here as I am, like the disaster of it all. Because I want to encourage other people who I think may have things to say to be willing to do it, and it doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't have to go spend money. And I mean, we know I'm using the free version of everything, so we know, like, as we're trying to do stuff that we're really limited because I haven't paid for whatever the version is,
right? Yeah, same.
So we're working with what we've got. I pay for subscription database for my work. So if we need to use that for a case or something that we want to research for the channel, that's fine. I will pay for that. But we're not spending money actively right now to put into this. We're just getting up here and talking about these issues that we see going on on these cases. And I think it's from a slightly different perspective, hopefully, than what some of the other legal channels.
Right. Mads is right. Yeah. Yeah. And I have an issue. Some, I don't have eyebrows. So for me to walk without eyebrows, I just have trouble with it. I talk to you. You see what I look like with all this crap on. But yeah, I do have issues with that.
I showed up with a hat on on here the other day because
I
it's just
love that
like,
hat. Looks so
this is,
cute. I love that hat.
oh, thank you. It's
I
just,
look horrible in a
I
hat.
have avoided I have avoided being in front of a camera for close to 10 years. So
Wow.
all the pictures that are going up, I have to take them because I have literally just avoided being photographed. And it's really annoying because I don't want to be photographed, but like I understand that people build their channels by getting to know their chats, which is the part I love the most
Yeah, I do
is
too. I love the
seeing
chat.
the chat
There's
and
no hate.
talking to them. Yeah,
Right.
this is a no hate space for sure,
Yeah.
100%. And that includes on the person who is accused of the crime. And that is not to say that I am pro defense. It's that the standard in this country is that you're presumed innocent until the state has proven your guilt. And
Right.
so that's the baseline,
That's the good thing about your channel too, is dispelling all those myths that people have, um, about how it's always
Yeah,
it's like
people,
everything's always one-sided. So
yeah,
it's dispelling those myths that it goes this way or it goes that way. So you're going to be able to help us see that it's not always black and white. There's some purple and orange in there, So
yeah, it's a lot more nuanced, I think, than people realize. And you don't have to vilify every person. I mean, we're seeing some of the most outrageous things, like what Sarah did to George is just
yeah,
absolutely outrageous. Um, I worked on Sarah's case. I spent time with Sarah. Um, I left it because I wasn't needed on it. Billy was doing um the work that that needed to be done, and he was closer to Orlando. Trevor Summers, I was brought on by Mr. Marchese, and I worked on that case for at least a year, and I don't know how much longer because, like, as I said, I have the memory of a pea. Um, but I spent time with Trevor. Trevor did not like me because he wanted me to buy into all his bullshit. And what I did was I went and confirmed that it was all bullshit and that I
right,
wasn't, I'm not going down that path with you. And he didn't like it. So what they ended up doing was paying me to, like, I wrote a report of all the things that I went and said, no, 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 sorry, no, Trevor, no. Right. Like,
right,
because I'm not in it for that. I'm
right,
not gonna no, I'm not gonna perpetuate lies, I guess is the way I wanna say it, right? I'm a fact
right,
investigator, so I'm gonna present the facts. Whether you use them or not, that's up to you,
right.
right? So with him, they ended up giving me it had been through so many attorneys, they gave me the entire digital file. I think I had the whole thing and said, "Fix it." And so I did, and I got paid for that and gave it back to um, Mr. Marchese. And then you saw the investigator that he hired show up in trial. And could that guy do? Nothing. Why would you
Nothing.
bring an investigator up to say, did you find bank account? Like, he's not an expert in anything. What he did was
Yeah,
we ran a background check.
right.
That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And
Yeah.
I didn't watch the trial the first time around because I hated him so much.
Yeah, I never watched
Um,
it either. Yeah.
yeah, I saw where Elisa testified, and I knew he did that. He was just so petty.
Yeah.
He's just disgusting.
He was
Just a
trying to get under her
disgusting
skin.
human being.
Let him.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just horrible. So, yeah, I mean, some of the cases, I was also worked on Triple X Tentacion was a 19-year-old rapper
I remember
who
that.
was
Yeah.
um unalived in Broward
Well, elect.
County. Yes. Stephen Lorenzo. I spent 5 years with Stephen Lorenzo and his sovereign citizen insanity.
I don't
And
know about that
then,
case.
yeah, it's a Tampa thing. We can go into it at some time. But yeah, um, some of the some cases that are streamed out of Hillsborough County, I either know the judge, I know the attorney, sometimes I've worked on the case. Um, Sometimes I'm brought on and then not needed further, or it's just I don't know.
Right.
hit or miss, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's basically that's what I had on my list for questions.
All
So
right, let's see what
let's
chat
see
has.
what they have. Yeah.
Let's see what chat has. I'm gonna pull you up on my big screen here and try to read. So wow, okay, you guys, right now I have 22 people in here, which is huge. We've never
Yeah,
had
but
that
notice
many
I
at
noticed
one
that
time.
there's so many people broadcasting. I just checked a minute ago before I came on, and they are showing a lot of the Sarah Boone stuff since Sarah Boone's getting ready to get,
Yeah, yeah.
I
But
think
I've got
that's, yeah,
22 people,
yeah.
the most we've ever had, which is super exciting. Before we came on tonight, I have 90 subscribers, so I only need 10 more to hit 100.
Yes.
And
So if you're
so
not subscribed, guys,
yes, please
subscribe.
subscribe and
Yeah.
please
Make
like
sure
the
you like,
video.
yeah, all
All
those
right.
things, the bell, all them things people tell you
All
to do.
yes, all the things, please.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me go down here and see if I can find some questions. Okay, so Chris had asked, do I need to reapply for my license over time or is it for life? No, I have to reapply every 2 years. That's just the state taking money. Krista wanted to know, what is the most fascinating case that I have worked on to date? Oh,
That's a good question.
that is a good question. I'm going to think on that, Krista. You remind me if I don't get back to that today, I'll think on it. Let's see. I answered, do I work with other PIs, which is no for the most part. Let's see. All right. Questions are Mel says, wow, you worked in Trevor Summers' case. I watched that trial. I'm not surprised he didn't like you. He seemed like he was that type of person. Yeah, Mel,
Yeah.
last night I was on Trial TV live with the squeegee of justice and the victim in that case, Elisa Mathewson. And we were talking about Trevor and how she has really turned her experience into something incredible, really.
Yeah. She has a book coming out.
Yeah, she's written a book. Yeah.
Trying to get it out. Yeah.
I guess she needs a publisher. So Carrie is saying, when you're going up against the government who has endless money resources and is not always honest, that's exactly it. I mean, the government is technically paying for the defense as well, but they're not paying nearly as much. We do not have the resources. We do not get to fly the FBI in to testify about your phone. And, we don't get the Cellbrite software. We don't get the extractor. We can only take classes about the reading, like how to manipulate the PDF, right? How to search for different terms and things. We don't have most of the stuff that they that the state has.
That's a common misconception.
Yeah, I saw one too. Amy Cruz said, do you think Judge K will give a strong speech with the sentencing? Absolutely. Yeah,
I hope
I
so.
should be putting these up, you guys, but I'm looking at two screens and I have a headache and I don't want to tip my laptop over. Thank you, Aaron. So yeah, do I think Judge K will give a strong speech? I do. Do you think so? Have you watched Sarah Boone, Jenny?
Yes.
Do you think Judge K is going to have something to say?
I think so.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
too.
because he was a very fair judge. A lot of
Oh
people
my
were complaining, and I was one of them at first, about how he was being lenient. He was covering the bases for appeals, is what he was doing.
100%.
That's why he asked her every day if she
He
was
runs a
satisfied.
tight ship. He came with case law every single time to back his arguments up. And I think that he's gonna have things to say to Sarah. And I don't think she's gonna like it very much. But
Do you think she's going to get life?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do. Erin says she remembers Triple X murder. Yeah. Let me see. 5 more subs to go to 100. Oh, that's awesome. So does anybody have any other questions? Did you hold any? Are there any comments held?
Aaron has
thought,
a private chat for you.
oh, okay. Let me go over there. Oh, yeah. I do want people to subscribe to Jenny. I tried to put her link tree up earlier today in a community post, and it said I had to verify that I was a human being, that my channel was too new to be able to do that. So I did the thing, and it's supposed to allow me then to do more things within 24 hours. But Aaron, if you can fix it, if you can do it, please. Aaron is the man behind the curtain here, and I would not be on here without her and the Squeegee of Justice Trial
Yeah, they're
TV
great.
Live. If you are not watching, you should be watching your trials there.
Yeah, and it's a good channel. They don't like bull crap. They don't talk while people are talking. They don't do any of that stuff.
Right. So Jenny
Yeah.
she does have a YouTube channel. She does Instagram stuff. Um, uh, Aaron's got the managing permissions. She can put stuff in the chat for you. There's your YouTube channel. But are you more active on Instagram?
Yes, I'm active on Instagram. Trying to get back into the YouTube because I like to somehow get that to go. I wanted to do a crime channel at one point, but I don't have the resources to pull everything in that these other
But you
channels do.
are,
And then when I
though.
found you
You
with you,
are
I like to
pulling everything in, though. Like, you're pulling in
yeah,
all the information, on these
right.
cases. I just have some
You have knowledge that put it that way. You have legal knowledge. So that's why I decided
yeah.
not to do that. So but yeah, I'm on Instagram a lot, Gini_survivor, spelled Gini, like on the screen.
Mhm.
And anybody can message me there. Like if you have an idea for Sam, you can message me and say, hey, Jenny, ask Sam this or whatever. That feel free to do that. I don't have a problem with that.
So,
So
I don't have any socials up right now at all. I don't even have them in my real life. So
thanks, Krista.
we are, yeah, you're getting some subs, Leah and Krista. So we're gonna figure out what direction we want to go in terms of social media, things like that. I can't, I don't have a staff of people like Peter Tragos, and I
Right.
can't make this my full-time job when, obviously I just started the channel.
Right.
So, I have a brain intensive job, which I know sounds ridiculous because I sound like I'm an idiot half the time I'm up here. Like, I'm just so many thoughts are racing around in my brain, which is why, we need to do structured streams, and I want people to engage. So, like,
Yeah.
email me, leave comments on the videos, on the community posts. I try to keep putting up community posts, where Jenny and I are talking through, um, like I said, different pieces that we think we can kind of take apart and make it make sense to some extent in
Right.
terms of the process.
Yeah.
Oh, she does have 18
Oh,
stars.
thanks, Sarah.
Okay, hold on. Oh, here we go. Wait, are all these starred? I don't know what I'm looking at. I think I've seen everybody. Have I seen everybody's?
Did you see Amy? She said she likes hearing about the process.
Yeah, I mean, the process is interesting. I can't make the crap up, I just
Right.
I can't make it up. I've been sort of writing this little skit video thing that it's done, except it's a timing thing. Like, I can't get my narration to match up with the whatever. Anyway,
Right.
and I keep messing with it. That's the other thing, is I will continue to change graphics and change colors and do all the things nonstop because I don't know. That's just how I am. But
Yes, Krista, she is.
what, down to earth and real?
Yes, real. Yes.
Approachable and honest. Oh, thank you. Oh, and the
Yes.
beautiful smile. Thank you. That's very kind. I
Yes.
appreciate you.
I agree 110%.
So I also want to be able to,
Thanks, Meds.
engage regarding the current cases, the ones that Trial TV is streaming the ones that everybody is interested in, and so you've been getting the research together so that I can have some knowledge on that. Can I explain about the inmates having to pay for their incarceration at county and state level? So that actually, Amy Crew, was, I think I knew that somewhere in the back of my mind, and then where it came out somewhere, right? On somebody's thing somewhere recently that they were having to pay for their incarceration. Um, I need to understand that a little more. I think that kind of took me by surprise that like maybe I at one point understood where that that whole thing. So I need to look into that so that I can give you a coherent answer, because I don't know the answer right now. It may be that they're having to repay court costs, and so that's getting pulled like from their commissary if there is a judgment against them. So you get a judgment and a sentence. The sentence is the time you spend. The judgment is the money or property taken from you. Oh, Amy says that Sarah Boone mentions it in her custody case letters. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the way she writes letters to the judges. It's the same. She's
Yeah, on
pulling the
that
same
side, that's
stuff.
really interesting that the way she does that.
Yeah.
I will Jenny will put it on the list, and I will find out
Yeah,
some,
I wrote it down.
yeah. So, um, yeah, that, that I will be happy to look at. Matt says it's great to watch adult conversation when it comes to the true crime community. This is an awesome perspective. Thank you. I
Thank you.
appreciate that very much.
I
Um,
agree.
Amy says it makes it sound like the inmates have to pay rent. Yeah, okay. I hear you. I do know that money does come out sometimes from inmates who have been sentenced. But I can't tell you with specificity the reasons why. Um, but I know like Lorenzo was having to pay forever. When you're on probation in Florida, you have to pay for the probation's not free. It's not free to commit crimes here.
And they're also there's no parole in Florida. So people ask that a lot. Like,
Correct.
are they going to get life without parole? With parole, and Florida
We
doesn't have
don't
that.
um in 1980, I want to say 83, they stopped with some, that's when they brought in the sentencing guidelines, and they stopped um with parole. So we're going to do probably the next show or episode or whatever, we'll do that on sentencing, since that's what's happening this week. And we'll talk more about parole. And Florida does what, I mean, we're Florida. It's,
Right.
like it just is Florida. Can I talk on Florida sentencing? Life is life, but say in Sarah's case, it's a felony level. So does that mean 40 years? There is no 85%. So we are going to talk about sentencing. Unfortunately, I didn't think about doing that today instead of talking about me. Sarah's guidelines put her at 22 and a half years at the bottom, which means that's the lowest amount that she can get. And that's based on the Florida score sheet. And like I downloaded all the stuff yesterday. So I will have a presentation for you. It's just going to be after the sentencing. So that's bad on me for my timing choice.
At least you get to explain, like why.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a point system basically, and the crimes you commit are assigned points, and then you accumulate points the more crimes you commit, and then that affects your sentencing. So she's bottom 22 and a half years. We know Kranick's not going to do that. I think
No,
they're
I don't
the
think so.
life. So she won't come out. I don't think she'll ever come out, because we do not have parole, and you can't do 85% of life. Life is life.
I always
So
wondered that about the percentage thing.
it's gain time. So I think it's like 1 day for every 4. It's like works out to about 85%. So like say you were sentenced to 20 years. Maybe you've been sitting in county for 3, before you've even been tried. So those 3 are going to count against your 20 that you're sentenced to, right? And then
Right.
when you've done 85% of the 20, and don't ask me to do the math because I wouldn't, I can't. Then once you've done 85% of that, then you're eligible to come out, you know, and you don't have to do the whole thing. We have a very strong probation situation here. And if you violate your probation, like we have pretrial intervention, drug court, and things like that. So, like, say one of the teenagers that I currently have sitting in county, they may have had one charge before, and they would have been out. They wouldn't have been sentenced or adjudicated or sentenced. So they're out on probation or community control. If they complete that successfully, which means they don't violate it, then everything's good. When they violate it by unaliving somebody else or being involved in the unaliving of somebody else, then they are now on the hook for for the entire sentence of whatever crime they were on probation for in the first place, on
Right.
top of whatever they're now there for as well. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we'll work more on sentencing. No, Sarah seems to get herself in some trouble. Pammy, you know what? I'm gonna blame my mother, who is here somewhere. She left me in the Montessori school until through the 6th grade, and I can't do math. I can't math. So I went into non-parochial private school in the 7th grade and promptly failed math, and it's been that way ever since. I don't
Yeah,
know.
my son and I, my youngest son, we're not. But Mike, you can give him 15 numbers and he'll just tell you.
I
Just like
didn't
that.
figure out till I was in my mid-30s that I transpose numbers. And
See,
so,
Jake does that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so, math teachers would say, "I don't understand. You're doing all the steps. You're getting it wrong." Well, I think if they had paid more attention, they would have seen that I was probably transposing numbers somewhere along the
Right.
way.
It's a form of dyslexia, but it's a mathematical
Yeah,
dyslexia. I forgot
exactly.
the name of it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
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 And both of us have ADHD. So yeah,
Yes.
if you think of
And
anything, send it to us if we're not answering
right.
questions right.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Pammy, so I did high school in a very good public school, and algebra, I think in my sophomore year. I want to say sophomore, maybe it was freshman or sophomore year, and he was going to give me a D, and I was like, please, I don't want to go back to private school. I don't want to go back to private school. Please, can I have a C? Please, can I have a C? Gave me a C.
Oh wow.
I
I
didn't have
did.
to.
I got a D in my first year of algebra, but my second year I got straight A's because it was a teacher. He was a really good teacher.
Yeah.
He took time with every student, and my first one, she put stuff up on the overhead projector, back in the 80s. She put it up and say, "Here you go, do your work," and we'd all be going,
Huh.
what? No, what are you supposed to do? And she would do a really quick explanation of A and B, but that's about it, But then my second year, rest his soul, he was an amazing teacher. He would literally, if one person had a question in that class, he would stop the class for that one person.
That's
And
great.
he was amazing. Yeah.
I was in a store in Texas when I was in college, and someone heard my voice, and they came around and they said, "You're the girl that's always yelling at the statistics professor." I was like, "Yeah, that would be me."
That's funny.
The man did not teach anything at all. I filed a complaint against him, and I think he filed one back against me. It was
Oh my
ridiculous.
gosh.
Okay, so
That's
Sarah
hilarious.
at her parole. Let's see what this says. Hi, Sub Rosa. Sarah at her parole hearing. I've been having good days. We've had good days. This unfortunate and random incident with the decedent was a fluke. I don't think you all know who I am.
God. Always having
the,
such a good day. Having a good day. Yeah.
we were
That's
having
our
a
family.
good. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. People
I
ask
saw
me.
somebody else say that too. After her trial, I saw that. I can't remember what trial it was in. Maybe one of you guys know. But somebody did the same thing. But we were having a really good day. And I'm like, oh God, people are going to use that line now.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. The satire videos of Sarah, I mean, I understand it, but I don't think that, I think she earned those, but I don't think that that's the approach we should take to all of the cases. I don't think it should be all about hate for
Right.
some person involved in the case. Um, I think you have to understand that there are so many layers to things and so many people involved, and the great thing about YouTube and about social media is that a lot of stuff is coming to light. I mean, Karen Reed, that prosecution, the investigation in the Karen Reed case is like people, the cops that did that, they need to go to jail. I
Right.
mean, that's just insane. And like what happened in Georgia with the YSL thing, I mean, there's just so much going on to see. And I think it's kind of gone beyond the, oh my God, it's kind of a train wreck. Can't look away. It's gory. It's, whatever. And it's like, okay, people know the lawyers' names, they know the judges' names,
Right. Right.
they know things about the defendants. What we agree is getting lost in the mix is the victim, and that happens
Right.
in my cases too. It's the victim is the reason why you're there, but also is never spoken about, basically.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
some of the
Karen's
judges
case
is
is
like
insane
in,
and scary.
yeah. And Karen Reed, every time the defense goes to say anything, she'll say, but I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but she does that. Like the judge will automatically sigh.
That judge,
Do you have anything to
I am not a
say? I'm
I
like,
am not a fan of that judge. It's like, okay, if
no,
you don't wanna be here, ma'am, maybe you should
recuse yourself.
retire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Recuse yourself. Recuse yourself. Yeah. That word.
yeah, recuse
Recuse
yourself.
yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so I
Yeah.
was trying to listen, I'm trying to listen to some of other channels, lawyers that I like on fast speed. I'm never gonna be able to keep up with everything that is going on YouTube and do my job at the same time, but I will try because I've got an interest in it. So like I didn't watch Delphi. Somebody just said they were had been watching
Yeah.
Delphi. So
I didn't either. I watched bits and pieces of
no, I
um
heard
what
I've
people
listened.
said. And
Yeah.
I watched the last, like the result of it. I watched that, but I didn't watch all of it, just bits and pieces. Cause I mean, it wasn't televised, which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Transparency is a
so
thing that,
that is upsetting to me. I am very much interested in the Piketon case out of Pike County, Ohio, where four
that's the one I've been
members
working
of
on. Yeah.
of of one family
Yeah.
unalived 8 members of another over custody of a kid.
Yeah.
And um so I found a channel that did like a 5-part series with, they had all their commentary. But the
Right.
thing is, Ohio has a law, which I was not aware of, that you can not be filmed or recorded audio. I mean, you can be black out.
Yeah.
And that's
That's what
crazy
two
to
of them
me.
did. And it was crazy. Yeah.
And yeah, I
The
mean,
two the big responsible ones
if
decided
you
to
are
opt out.
the one that committed the crime, you should not be able to hide behind
Yeah.
a wall of, no no broadcast.
Right.
Like that is insane.
Yeah.
Sabrosa
We're
says
definitely going to talk
every
about that
courtroom
case.
needs a camera. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm seeing as courtrooms are remodeled, cameras are going in not just for purposes of the press, but they're in the ceiling too, right? They're for security.
Yeah.
So like the judge, I was closest to the judge in a recent trial, and she's like me, she had a bunch of screens up, but I know some of them were cameras that she could see, family members sitting in the gallery and things like that. And one of the somebody made an allegation that our client was making jokes or something about the victim, and that could not have been further from the truth. And I'm glad that those cameras were there because she saw how he behaved the entire trial, which I told him, I'm like, you could have been one of these attorneys sitting here at this table. It-
Right.
you have that, you have the brain for that, you have the personality for that. What are you doing? I'm It's just frustrating.
Yeah.
Can be really frustrating.
Yeah. I imagine that. Yeah. Yeah.
Judge Gull. I don't know who Judge Gull is. Oh, that's Delphi, you're saying. So Delphi, I just heard about on a podcast, and then I saw that the trial was on, and I wasn't particularly interested in it. I understand that some people think that maybe that wasn't him, and I understand that he was subjected to some very horrible conditions while incarcerated, waiting for the trial. Carrie says the Delphi case is the most appalling injustice I've ever seen. Yeah, from what I heard, did you hear, Jenny, about how he was incarcerated and they
I heard after. I didn't go back and watch
yeah,
any of it, but I
yeah,
do want to because I want to know more about it. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I know that, like, I think it was, like, Lawyer Lee maybe did Delphi. She was there
she did.
every
Yeah,
day. Is that right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And so was uh God, what's her name? Lauren. Um,
I don't know her.
yeah, she was there. Hidden True Crime.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and her husband's Dr. John.
husband.
Got you.
Yeah, yeah.
Andrea Burkhart, I think it Carrie might be Burkhart. Yeah, I know her channel too. I try to, I channel surf around. Mel says she wouldn't watch Delphi. It was too close to home for her.
Oh wow.
And I was saying this earlier to somebody. I don't remember who, of course, but um, I watched part of Wade Wilson's
To
case.
me, we were talking about it.
Okay, and he committed some, well, some footage from law enforcement was filmed in an area where I used to work in Fort Myers. Like, I was recognizing, like, the scenery, and I was like, "Oh my god, glad I did not cross paths with him."
Yeah.
Leah says Andrea Burkhart was there every day too and did 5-hour recaps almost every night.
Wow.
That's crazy. And even if you are like me, which is sort of trial adjacent, like I'm a support figure in trial, it's exhausting. I mean, it is
Yeah.
exhausting. And you get trial brain where that's all that permeates. Nothing else comes in at all. Like nothing.
Right.
And it stays that way until the verdict comes. It's just like this wall for me.
Yeah.
It's like a bubble. Mel says Wade Wilson. Oh my god, that's scary. Safe. Yeah, I left that area in 2011 though, so we're good. It was just crazy that it was, Fort Myers is not like a big city or anything.
Well, there's a case here. I'm not sure how far it's going to get. I was telling Sam about this. My husband's a guy that used to work for him a couple of years ago. He was unalived by his girlfriend the other day.
Oh, you were
So
telling me.
yeah. So we're not sure what it's over yet. But hopefully we'll find out. So yeah, he was 36. So I think it might have been drugs involved by the sound of what Mike was telling me, but we don't know. So I'm not saying that was,
Mm-hmm.
but it's possibility because that's one of the reasons he left was because he got somebody, his ex, drug him into it, literally drug him, into the drugs. So I don't know if
Wow.
that carried over, but
Wow.
I really don't know. So I'm hoping to find some more information about that as it happens. But she's in custody. They knew it was her. So, but
Yeah.
it's
Wow.
crazy to be that close to home. It's like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
things have happened around here, but to somebody that my husband,
That
he worked for
knew.
him.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
And he
Yeah.
said he was an amazing employee. So it's
Right.
just,
Yeah, that's
wow,
crazy.
yeah,
The wild, wild world.
yeah,
My phone goes off all day with notifications of shootings. Like, one from Thanksgiving was some man fired 200 rounds into an apartment complex. I'm like, okay, great, because my go-to is stay home so you don't get shot. And now here,
yeah. I just
somebody's
saw
out there.
something in Florida.
Crazy.
I took a screenshot of it. I was going to ask you about it. It was, where is that? In Broward County, there was a man that was shot and unalived on Thursday, and his neighbor was detained. He was a 71-year-old. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I know a person who their neighbor filed a civil claim against them, but it was not sufficient on its face. So basically, I helped them draft a motion to dismiss because it failed to state a claim. It's a
Right.
civil case. And then I referred him on to my friend, uh, my young friend who's an attorney, and he told me or maybe it was his friend. I don't remember who told me. Anyway, the neighbor came up to the guy I know and shot him in the head. And he survived. I don't know how. This man must be a terrible shot. I don't understand this. But I mean, the whole thing is like over noise. The one neighbor doesn't like the noise coming from
Oh my gosh,
the
really?
other. And he walked up and just shot him.
Wow. That's
Crazy.
crazy. Yeah, when I saw that, I'm thinking I'm responding to
Yeah,
so
Jenny,
thank you.
you're
Yeah.
getting some subs.
Thank you
Well,
guys.
yeah. So you guys, so
Yeah, I like Vinny. I like Vinny.
we've hit
Yeah.
the sort of 90-minute mark, which is where I tend to
Yep.
end things, and we've maintained 20 uh, all at the same time. My words do not want to come out of my mouth. Oh my god. So yeah, that's been totally amazing. So I guess what we'll do is we will work on sentencing, at least as far as how Florida does it, because I can't attest to anything other than Florida. But most state rules are based on the federal rules, and there's a similarity usually to most of them. Not all, but most. And then you guys, please comment, like use the community post thing to talk to us. We'll sort out some sort of social media situation. I'm sure you can imagine, like, there's only so many accounts I can keep in my head, and I've got a lot of them. But thank you
Yeah.
so much to all of you who came
Yes.
and joined us tonight. I
Thank you
appreciate it
guys for
so
your
much.
support,
Yeah,
especially since
absolutely.
I was terrified to get on. I start shaking at 3
No,
o'clock.
you're fine.
I haven't been
If
able to eat.
you
Like I
guys
haven't
aren't,
eaten.
Jenny, it's
Crazy.
fine.
I know.
The people
Mike
are
made me some mashed
nice.
potatoes. I had mashed potatoes in the
They're very
morning.
nice. Look, the
Yeah,
people
they're
are nice.
great.
They're very nice.
I'll
If
have
you
to do
guys
this again with you.
yeah, absolutely. If you guys are watching trials, you need to be watching them on Trial TV Live.
Yes, please, guys, go support Trail TV Live.
Yeah, they
They're
are
really, really good people.
absolutely. Oh, and Aaron just put my email up for
Yeah.
Florida PISam at Gmail. And I just did a video last night. Was it? I don't. You guys, my brain with Elisa Mathewson, who is Trevor Summers' victim and survivor ex-wife, and the squeegee of justice, who's Chris, the other half of Trial TV Live. That video is up on their channel. I think I did an interview with Chris also on his show a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to participate in to the whatever extent I can. Hey, Dad, my dad's on. Oh my God, hi, Dad. Thank
Hi,
you.
Dad.
Yeah, my dad lives in the country, so he doesn't normally stream anything because it's something about the bandwidth I don't understand. I I don't understand. It's it's a country thing. Wow. So we got both my mother and my father in the chat tonight.
Awesome.
That's crazy.
I put a message in the private chat for Erin,
Oh,
so
okay.
she
So
might have
yeah,
to ask you that.
um, yeah. Post all of Gina's stuff. Or
Jenny,
Jenny.
what
Sorry.
did you
Oh
just
my
call me?
God. Gina. I don't know where that came from. I'm sorry.
You're tired in your head. Yeah, I'll
Mhm.
forgive you this time.
Thank you. I
It
appreciate
took
it.
a while for Chris to call me Jenny too, because he always called me Jeannie. But you situated. You got him straightened out,
Yeah,
right,
I did.
Chris?
I fixed it. I fixed it there. I had a moment. It's just a moment. But yeah, we've maintained a steady like 20 people for this entire time, which is amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks,
And
guys, and for the questions. Thank you,
yeah, for the question.
and for
So
accepting me. Thank you,
oh,
and
absolutely.
thank you, Sam, for having me too.
Oh no,
Appreciate it.
absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing
Oh, of
to
course,
help
you're
me. I
welcome.
appreciate it. Mel says Kurt of Uncivil Law is a great attorney to watch or even have on. Kurt is awesome. He is an excellent attorney. He does very good analysis of constitutional law. YouTube, there's a lot of very good attorneys on YouTube. For sure, and obviously a lot of true crime content out there. So I just hope to give you sort of a in between perspective of things, and since I live here and am associated with some of these cases, and there's one that we're going to talk about that the channel subscribers may become the investigators on. So that's a situation that the defendant wants that to happen. I need to figure out some legal stuff about it, but I think that's a potential wrongful conviction, and which means it's an unsolved homicide. So yeah, thank you guys. Hi, Nana of 4. It's good to see you, Amy Crew, all the people. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I appreciate you. And I hope to see you all next Saturday.
We're talking about sentencing. That's what Sam's
Yeah,
going to
we'll
talk
talk about
So
sentencing. Yeah, we'll talk about sentencing, and I'll get some documents to put up. I've got the things. So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
I do
And
too.
for welcoming Jenny. Make sure you subscribe to all of her stuff, okay?
No, thank
Everybody
you,
be
guys.
safe out there. If you're out shopping, whatever, you be safe, okay?
Yes.
Everybody have a
Thanks,
good weekend.
guys. Good
Bye.
night, guys. Bye.